Hey everyone, welcome to the Bitcoin Design Community Call number 58. We've got John's here, we've got Pablo here who said he's just joined back into the community. We have Eric who's a new grantee, and we have Vanessa and we have V as well. It is the 3rd of April 2024. Michael started a document, very well organized. This is just a space to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. And then, we can also share some stuff that's going on in the community. Maybe people want to share what they want to work on. We've got this Google document over here in the chat. So we've got BTC Prague over here as a thing to talk about. We've got the community activities. Just feel free to add in there whatever you want to talk about. It's just an open space for everyone to talk about whatever they want to speak about. So if there's something you're working on at the moment which you want to share or you want, to chat about, you can also just add that in there. Shall we kick it off, Michael?
Let's do it.
Right. So do you want to do a bit of an intro into Prague? Because I think some people are not familiar with Prague. I see my camera went off. I'll try to switch it on again.
Right. I'll just grab the link to the planning doc that we have, put it into the chat here. So that's basically, I think, the let's say the biggest topic that we could discuss. When I was going through that, I think it would be maybe we could start discussing a bit more in more detail, kind of the schedule that we would like to have there on the Hackday. So maybe for everybody who's not familiar with the concept of BTC Prague, there is the main conference from June 13th to 15th. And the day before, on June 12th, there's going to be a so-called Hackday, which is kind of all hands-on, kind of more builder-focused, smaller side event with, I think, 120 euros for the day are the tickets. People who would be interested in kind of helping out or speaking or kind of contributing to the Hackday, I think I can get or should get free tickets to the Hackday. So always looking for people to contribute. And for this Hackday, we said this year, because last year there was basically only talks, like 8 or 9 of them, and the design duel, and it was very, very intense. So this year we said we'd like to go a bit slower and maybe have, let's say, 2 to 4 talks, maybe just in the morning, and then have more hands-on sessions in the afternoon, or the other way around, but kind of a more kind of balanced schedule, and maybe also less sessions. So that's kind of the background of what we're looking at.
Yeah.
We're gonna have our own room, which is like 66 square meters or something like that. So that's also something that we will want to decorate. We've also started a Figma file for that. Let me put that also here in the chat. Here we go. So we started picking out some furniture, how to organize it, the room, but yeah, that's kind of just got started. But the question is, and it also has an impact on what furniture we choose or decoration, is what we actually want to do during that day. So maybe we can.
Yeah, that might be a good one to sort of narrow down the activities in the room. And I know Eric is here. John's is fairly very well experienced in hackathons. So, I guess just trying to feel into what activities would be fun to do. Yeah, this is what Michael has in front of him here.
Exactly. That's also in the Google Doc that I just shared in the chat. So um, yeah. So we have a kind of a ton of things or ideas here, and maybe it would be good to hear what you guys would be interested in seeing or in hearing.
Um, I think it's nice to like work backwards with this, so we get like quite abstract.
Mm-hmm.
Like what kind of outcomes and vibe do we want to ultimately have, right? Um, like what what space does this room, this design room, have in this dev event? What is the purpose of it, and why are we, putting in the work to make this room interesting for people? And which people are those? What statement do we want to make?
Yeah, what was the audience last year at the conference, Michael? You were there as well. It was mostly builders at the conference. I mean, at least at this sort of hack day, it was mostly builders, developers, UX
Yeah,
designers. Um,
exactly. It was mostly technically oriented people. Some I think podcasters and stuff, but mostly developers. A couple of designers, but yeah, that's it. It's not really people who are going to be at the main conference. The main conference is kind of more retail oriented, but this day will definitely not be. And it's also not as big. I don't know how many people will be there, but I think last year it was like 350, something like that, in kind of the not more than 500, and it was pretty crowded anyway. There were a lot of kind of technical sessions, but I didn't see any of them because we were in the design room all the time.
So one comment that the BTC server team made, when Nicholas Dorier was making his drawings and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, this is so hard, right? You remember the pirate with the tattoo mnemonic thing or whatever?" Um, he's like, "Oh, this is so hard," and it's like, "Yes, exactly." So now you're seeing how it is for the design when they get these requirements and stuff like that, right? So that empathy building is kind of like a potential theme.
yeah,
Um, if it is developer kind of focus, then the bridging the gap. I love that phrase. It's so stupid. Um, so like you have some designers there. You have a lot of developers helping to get the developers to understand how they should approach design or designers, process related things that they might find valuable. Yeah.
what sort of process related things would you guys find valuable if there's any designers on the call? I mean, we've got Eric here, we have Pablo, Paper Psych, V, and Vanessa mentioned that she is a UX designer. So, what sort of workshops or things with regards to building Bitcoin products would be something that you think, oh, this is super cool, this is fun, I'd love to be part of this? And we can just maybe note down some of your ideas in the Google document, which Michael has.
Yeah, it might be a good idea to just have one, let's say, one item that is kind of tools and techniques for this audience. That might be really nice. What are some or helpful some UX techniques
Mm-hmm.
um, that people can employ in their own projects, like design sprints, user story mapping, whatever. So
Yeah.
talk about these kinds of things.
Gotcha.
Tools and techniques, maybe like using the Bitcoin design guide.
Yeah.
So this is where like the posters come in, right? So
Mhm.
poster design for the different chapters and stuff like that. So someone could say, "Oh, that looks very nice on the wall." Yeah, actually, that's you scan it, and this is one of the chapters in the Bitcoin design guide as well, right? You'll
Yeah.
learn X, Y, Z.
The card game was a really big hit last year, so I'm going to add in the card game here as well, even though we have it here. It was something that just got people, interacting with each other and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to add in the card game over here as well. Yeah. The what was also fun last year was the what did we do? We did the design battle.
Design Julia.
We won't have Steven this year, unfortunately.
I can run it if necessary.
Are you going to be there, Johns?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna just write John's rules. Okay, so we've got John. The design battle last year was absolutely fun. It was so much fun. So yeah,
Wait, where are you writing this?
this is in the Google document.
Here.
Michael shared the link
I'm,
in the chat.
yeah, I'm sharing also the screen so everybody can see
Yeah.
what's going on.
So tools and techniques, design sprint, coupled with the posters for easy. I have a card deck design that I did for fun. I'd be happy to share it. Amazing. So Paper Psych has a card deck design.
Yeah, please share it. We have a card deck that we created in the community as well. So always open to seeing what other people have designed as well.
Nice.
What's the name? Paper Psych. Yeah, can you drop a link in on the document or in the chat so we can keep it on record? Yep, no worries. Okay. Um. Uh. duh, 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 duh.
What about a LARP? So I've been to the conference in Berlin recently, and this is not very design related, but maybe we could put a design twist on it. We did a LARP where basically it was open source FOSS funding. So how do you actually get funding for your project? And keeping things very practical. Some people were the people giving the funding, and some people were the people asking for the funding, and each person was given a role. Like you had a developer, you had the UX designer, and then you had them going and approaching someone who is a funder and basically pitching your product to them. So what could be something maybe with a bit of a design twist, or you know where people are sort of role playing and really putting themselves in the shoes of other people. Um, that was fun. Um, yeah, I like the post-it wall idea as well.
Every time. Every time.
Pablo, you're building something at the moment. I mean, even if you can't make it, like what would be interesting for you as you're building out your product right now? What sort of things would you like to be learning right now that's going to assist you?
Right now, getting to know people that's building similar stuff and just talking with them, meeting them. I guess that's currently one of the main goals. Just launching, being in a launch with that people in general.
Similar things, if you don't mind me asking, or if it's
Say again.
You said people working on similar things. Similar in what regards?
I guess Lightning for users, like the UX of Lightning, not just when sending and receiving, but doing other stuff. We're doing swaps, and usually people that do swaps don't know about the liquidity issues and the inbound and outbound capacity. Just talking about that in general.
Okay. And you have like an interface for this thing, or is it like an API related project, like a developer tool?
No, it's an interface. We might send something to the App Store next week or so.
Good. So like what do you want to get out of sorry, I'm trying to understand like what you said.
Fine. Good.
So what would you want to get out of that kind of like interaction with the other person who's making something similar?
Insights that I might have missed. I usually think and design better when I'm collaborating or bouncing around the ideas. And I don't know a lot of people that's working in designing Bitcoin in general.
Would something like a design review, like a live, because we in the community have these design review calls, which we do remotely. But then what if we just put your product up on the screen, you show us you basically create like an open Figma document and then move it into FigJam, and then everyone has the opportunity to put some post-it notes in there and give very, very directional sort of feedback on very specific screens with very specific questions. And then it's just like shoot for 5 minutes. Everyone does it for 5 minutes, and then you get feedback on what you're working on.
That would work. That's something that's also can also be done remotely.
Yeah.
So I think it's not something special for the physical space.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be nice. I guess when the last conference that I went, most of the most interesting stuff that I learned or people that I connected with was outside the topics and the activities that had rules. It was on the side, so it was in casual conversations. So, and I know those casual conversations and connections can be generated via these kind of game stuff, and then those happen. But I guess there's a lot of value in the other ones, and like trying to create more opportunities to generate those. I guess it's important.
Yeah.
Or not important, but I think it's interesting. Yeah.
Got you. John's is thinking. So
one idea that came to mind earlier today is goes in the same or in a similar direction, because we have sometimes these learning Bitcoin and design calls. So something like that in Meet Space could also be something nice, where we just have just a topic and then start kind of figuring it out or working on it. But the problem there could be that you run into kind of, if it's not prepared enough, then you might just run into kind of how do you call it? It wouldn't be structured enough, so you wouldn't get the traction that maybe you would want to get.
How about this? Let's all agree we don't go to conferences to learn things.
Agree. It's just a pretext, it's an excuse to get to know people.
Yeah, so like we're in Meet Space, some people haven't seen each other for forever, for a long time, and I think that kind of like interaction between people should be maximized.
Yeah.
And catered for, like the things that we can't do online. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got you. Yeah, got you. Yeah, exactly.
Speed dating, an hour of speed
That's
dating.
it. Let's go, Michael. That's the kind of
That's pretty
thing.
good.
Speed design. Yeah, I like that. I like that speed dating. That's a good one.
Design dating or something like that.
Design dating. Let's add that one to the list. Oops.
You're a lonely designer looking for that special someone.
Design thinking.
I have so many special someones here that sometimes I want to be alone.
Are you searching for that anchor to your point?
Glad we're not recording, Johns.
We are. We totally are recording.
Freedom speech.
I like
We'll make
the
that a
design
meme.
dating one. I mean, we also don't have to fill up the day completely. Like, last year we
Yeah.
had talks, but we had very sort of specific talks, subjects that were done. But I feel like this sort of interactive model where people are really getting people to engage with each other and build empathy, as John says, it's like the design dating, the card game, the design battle, those are all very interactive, getting people to really, gel with each other. Pablo.
Problem.
Yeah, if I saw the space size, so it's not like a really big space, but if the place were to feel like a living room more than a conference room or something, and there would be like big enough chunks of non-planned times between planned activities, that would force people to get to know each other. Like if they feel comfortable there, maybe they go there to have a rest or have a talk or whatever, instead of feeling like a businessy kind of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did last year. We had sofas in the room, and then we had one like place to talk with a big wall in the back, so to present. Um, but yeah, it feels like this year we could do more. We could do couches and then maybe a table for people to sit around where they want to put their laptops on, show each other what they're working on. That could be a place for the sticky notes as well, for any sort of interactive workshops or anything. And then we just moved stuff around in the room. At one part of the day, the room had a completely different design to another part of the day, but the room was very dark and cozy and it had lighting in it. So this year we were thinking of doing lights, and Christoph actually had a very cool idea. He said, what if the light of the room is sort of thematic? So it could be the green light, then you have the green hour, and then you have the orange hour, you have the purple hour, and then in each hour you kind of have this vibe or this theme going. So like, hey, are you joining for the purple hour? Purple hour means this, like sort of attaching themes to different colors and then having people hop in whenever they want.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah.
Like coloring lighting, it's not easy to achieve in a like really good looking way.
Yeah.
It's certainly possible, but if you just use one of those smart bulbs, it feels weird. People faces in some colors feel like weird and not inviting.
Yeah.
You should just try to light the walls. It's I have some experience in that. If that's helpful, I'm happy to do something there.
Yeah, feel free to share. I mean, we also have the conference channel in Discord as well. So if you have any ideas about the lighting that you want to share, just put the link in the channel, in the conference channel. But I think the sort of playing around with lighting is very good. Creating a cozy environment, people are going to engage with each other. The card game, we also have like we could say it's an 8-hour day, and I think a lesson learned from last year was don't bother doing anything in the lunch break because no one's going to be in the room in the lunch break. So we can completely cut off, I think, at least an hour slot from the day, which leaves us with only 6 hours.
Or we can steal all the food, put it in the design room, and then everyone will have to come there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a proposal.
Yeah.
It is one. It is indeed. It is indeed.
We can add a DJ for the lunch break also there.
There we go. There we go.
I think for the talks, it's okay to kind of dim the lights and have it more, kind of darker. But if you have really interactive things where you want to do something with post-its on a board, you will need basically daylight or some kind of very bright setup.
It wasn't so bad last time. It was in between. Adding to the design dating idea, people blindfolded sit in a circle and talk about stuff without seeing each other. It's super enlightening interaction without any bias based on appearance. There you go.
But that will be biased to extroverts rather than introverts.
True. This is from paper psych suggestion. I like the thinking though. I like the that's keep it going, keep it going. Let's keep adapting it. Blind dating. Right? Ooh, actually, the blind dating could relate something about accessibility.
There we go.
Right.
There we go.
You
There we
start
go.
with a name and then you figure out how to make it work. What the content is.
There we go.
Yeah, but that could be something relating to accessibility. I mean, doing some accessibility topics isn't a bad idea. I would
Yeah.
I would ask this question. So this is the second year, so that means that there's a gap in the time that some people may have seen each other and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there something to discuss within that kind of like gap? Like, I don't know, like eCash has been getting like super popular in that past year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
About,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, about that time. Maybe there's an angle there. Or,
Mm-hmm.
um, what else? I don't know. Not just lightning as a kind of like a layer two, you know. Um, that could be
Yeah,
another.
we had this kind of as discussion points a bit above, further up in the document, like silent payments, eCash, Frost, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So that's always, I think, and especially eCash and Frost have probably pretty big UX impact, that or where it is very different from regular Bitcoin, or even Lightning. So that could be definitely a good topics.
The changing UX landscape, right?
We call it the changing UX landscape. Let's put it the changing UX landscape.
Uh, and then like those topics could kind of like fill into it a bit. Designers have more tools as the protocols get more developed, whether it's human readable names, whether it's the other layers, eCash, password, etc.
What if we put rough time slots next to all of these? Because then we can see sort of what sort of time, because we've got 6 ideas here now. If the dating game would take, I don't know, an hour, let's put the dating game in the red hour. I'm just playing around, okay? And the design battle is going to be the green hour, which is also 1 hour. Not saying like we're doing these things, but we're just kind of playing around with times. And
To see the priority.
so
Yeah.
we got the green hour with the battle, and then the landscape. Landscape. The landscape's more green, so we could do this as green hour actually, and we switch the other one around. This is 1 hour. You know, let's make this one yellow. I don't know.
I'm definitely getting more purple vibes from Tiffany. Oh, sorry, no, wrong place.
What vibes are you getting?
Just playing. Sorry, guys. I'll be serious. Okay, I'll be serious.
So we got the yellow hour, we got the red hour, we got the green hour, and then tools and techniques. I don't know. One thing should be orange, right? It's Bitcoin, so We can do orange hour. This is also 1 hour. So that's already covering, that's already 1, 2, 3, that's already covering 4 hours. And in the card game, which was also super fun, we can, I don't know, purple hours, also 1 hour. And then the Bitcoin design guide, what color have I left out? Blue hour. And then we've got 1 hour for that. Or maybe 1 hour is too long. I don't know. I'm just guesstimating.
It could be the design guide and the research toolkit, right? So
Yeah,
it could be
exactly.
basically kind of an overview
Yep.
of these.
That's a good one. So then we've got 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. We've got 5 hours. And then the full day is 6 hours. And then, as Pablo said, leave an hour for people just to hang, to chill, and not be like fixed in an activity, like.
I have an idea, sir. It's just, oh fuck, I might have forgotten it. Damn. No. Okay, so it's kind of tied with the blind thing or accessibility thing, whatever. Um, and with the developers. So okay, so here about this. So the changing US landscape, what does that have? It has like components, like we have new components to play with, right? Whether it's new layers or we have new specs and stuff like that. You could put them together and it can create some interesting new user interface by combining them in a unique way.
Yeah.
Developers tend to be very much like, I'm gonna build a spec. I'm gonna like. They don't really do this, but anyway, not secret. But they're doing the spec. They're releasing a feature, etc., etc. They eventually, they may not know the use cases yet, and that's where we come in. That's where we as designers come in, right? So it could be some kind of game where specs are given and like features are given and say, hey, how would you combine these things? And you talk about it instead of designing it like on paper or in Figma. You talk about what this futuristic application could look like, right? So, for example, I'll give you the technical components. Create a wallet with AI. So it's basically like the design duel a bit, but like verbal. Create a Bitcoin. Like, what does self custody look like with if you have AI, Frost, and voice recognition. You know, comes up like someone starts describing a wallet to you. That kind of like I don't know, like, oh, it's this wearable device that you keep on your da 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 da, but it's also a hardware device that you can talk to. I don't know.
I'm giving it some random name, mixed methods, mix a box. I don't know, mix a box, whatever. Like something like, so the person would get a card with these things. Okay, person would get maybe 3 cards with mixed topics. Then discuss.
There were these these cooking programs on TV when I was young, where people would get kind of a basket of ingredients and they have to create something from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of similar-ish when I think about it to the design duel, but the idea there was that it becomes kind of like this. How can you combine the different components to create something futuristic? Some futuristic interface that setting the tone of like what Bitcoin could be. You know.
We could also leave some slot kind of open for ideas that people kind of bring, right? Maybe they will have a wall somewhere with where somebody wants to, I don't know, get feedback from the community, or kind of talk about a specific aspect of a thing that they're working on, or a specific part of Lightning, or stuff like that, where we basically leave like half an hour or an hour for kind of emerging topics that emerge during the day. And if we don't use it, then yeah, we'll see. I mean,
Yeah,
we'll
that's
see
a good
after
one.
that.
It's a good one because we've got like 7 ideas here now, and we've kind of assigned an hour to each of them, but they don't all need an hour. Maybe the card game is 30 minutes. But I guess we can sort of figure that out later on, a bit. Maybe on the next community call. But we've got some pretty solid ideas here. Um, the most of
Yeah,
the ideas are really interactive, which I really like. I think that's going to be good.
I
Yeah.
would definitely leave them at about an hour because there's setup time, there's time
Yeah.
to get,
Yeah.
etc., etc. So one activity an hour I think makes sense, and it's just easier to talk about it at that point as well.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we maybe even some of these ideas can be merged together, the design battle could somehow maybe even be merged with John's idea, this sort of futuristic interface, you know. Yeah. Yeah, looks good. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Sure.
It's really good. Is there anyone, because we've got 15 minutes to go. I do have to hop off at the 15-minute mark because we've got a UX research call coming up after this, where Paulo is going to be sharing his research done on Pix in Brazil, which has millions of users. So I'll just show that call, which is pretty much straight after this one. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see what else. What other topics did everyone add in here? Community activities. Someone added in analyzing research with AI.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I know who added that one in.
So that's me. But just before we continue, Paper Strike mentioned thinking out loud, a Bitcoin design question wall where people can stick a sticky note with one question they have related to Bitcoin design or its UI/UX, etc. Could spark interesting conversations. What I really like about this idea, it gives us artifacts that we could use later down the line. So like people write in the sticky notes something, some kind of message to the Bitcoin design community asking a question or something, and it becomes content that we could use further down the line
Mm.
well, after the conference. So we could obviously answer whilst we're there, but it could be something that we share with the community as well. So I kind of like that. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to have a time. It's just like a wall that's like people just doing it like whenever.
Such a cool
Yeah,
idea.
that was
Like it's full
that
of.
was kind of in the same direction that I thought, where basically you have a kind of a bucket of topics or ideas, and we can allocate, I don't know, half an hour or something, or the time slots that we don't allocate to something else to discuss these kind of things. And the board can persist, right? It can live on in a FigJam board somewhere, or stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. The question could be like, what feature won't your boss make you add? If it was like corporate or whatever, it'd be like, and then you throw it in the bucket. I don't know. I just thought about that when you said throw in the bucket.
This is nice. We've pretty much got a full stack here, because the question wall kind of constantly exists and it can be constantly just, hey guys, by the way, we have a question wall. Go grab a sticky note, put any questions you have on there. And from time to time, we'll go and check the wall. And then that's something that can constantly be, as John said, sort of reminded. And then there can be a moment where those questions are answered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
I mean,
one.
you can also to these sticky notes, you can add these little dots, kind of vote on them, so that
Yeah.
we could see how many people are. Maybe there's some topic that multiple people are interested in, so that could be a way to prioritize what to discuss first.
So we could have we're gonna have this like another sticky note activity. Guilty pleasures or um, UX confessions.
Oh, I like that. UX confessions.
I secretly love it when my users have a hard time using it.
UX confessions.
I use Comic Sans all the time.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. Take care, Eric. Thanks for joining.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you in a bit, Eric.
Okay. Yeah. Can I talk quickly? Not that I haven't been talking quite a lot already, but Vanessa, do you have anything that you would like to add on the discussion? Been kind of.
No, I'm just a Bitcoiner that's a UX designer, and I've been kind of busy up until the last couple months. So I figure I just use my idle time to kind of see what's going on.
No worries, no worries. Have you thoughts about what we've been brainstorming and throwing out, or is it just a whole bunch of garbage so far?
No, this is really fun. You guys got great ideas. I've never been to any conferences in Europe, but I'm going to BitBlock Boom next week. So um, I'm starting to notice the appetite for more UX focused conversation. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Nice, nice. Have you been to conferences prior?
Yeah,
Or-
I've been going to a lot of the the big
uh,
US conferences. Yeah, someday I'll get over. Someday I'll get over there to Europe. So
yeah.
I'll jump on.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to chat about quickly because I think it's be a cool activity. More we spoke about it was use upgrading our tooling and processes, right? Especially with regards to user research, how to make it more efficient. The analysis pro- the analysis, not analytics, analysis process. The process of analyzing. There you go. Change the terms. The information that gets collected and using like AI tools and whatnot. So yeah, AI tools and user research analysis.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is like a 4-part series, not to stretch it out too long. Just say 4 parts. Once a week, we try to explore this topic. Maybe once every 2 weeks, we could figure it out.
What do you guys think of that idea?
Yeah, I like it. For me, it's going to be more passive because I battle with GitHub and Figma quite a lot because I'm working kind of want to get the main part of my grant out. But to kind of hear what some of these things would be very nice. To just get an idea what other people are doing, what the tools are, and stuff. So to get an overview, that would be really cool.
Yeah. I guess one of the does anyone here use AI in their design process? That's not like generating like images, but but for
I
research.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you use it?
I use it, well, for copies for sure, like a lot. Everything that I write in Spanish, then I take to English and then change the tone and all of that. But yeah, a lot of questions that I do regarding of how to plan the flows. I can prompt like the goal that the user needs to achieve, the inputs that are needed, and try to break it in get proposals of how to break it in different steps. Or
Nice.
I don't know. It depends on I try to use it for everything, even just to try it to see how it works, even if I don't follow the results.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Just to get like a design partner that like,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's easier to correct something than start from scratch. So.
True.
Yeah.
And if I already did something like that, just in my notes, just writing it out, like verbalizing stuff. It's a way to bounce around ideas if you don't have anybody to do that. But having somebody to answer, even if it's not correctly, that's a plus.
So we know who's going to be at the speed dating event.
ChatGPT will be the most popular
Yeah.
date.
So actually, I did something very practical and hands-on yesterday. I went to Phoenix Wallet. I went to their GitHub. And basically, it's really simple. It's 3 steps. I copied and pasted every single issue that exists on their GitHub. There was 78 in total.
No.
Yes, I did. I put it into a Google document. I converted the Google document to a PDF, and I uploaded the PDF into ChatGTP 4, and I chatted with the PDF. I would like to share the results. I shared it in the research channel. I'm not going to share the link now because I think my computer is going to freeze. But if you go into the research channel in the Bitcoin design community, you will actually see fully documented the questions that I asked ChatGTP. And then what I did is I posted the results on the Phoenix GitHub in their repository. I was like, hey guys, I've gone through all of your issues. This is what users are asking for right now. And this is a summary of the main issues. So that's been something that's posted to Phoenix just an hour ago. And it's shared in the UX research channel as well. So go have a look. Very practical, very hands-on. Using ChatGTP to sort through data.
So some of the topics that's worth exploring towards the end, we'll talk about privacy, right?
Mm.
So we'll have fun initially, and then we'll keep it real, right? In the end, another topic would be to how to maybe use this as a case study or like a use case that you mentioned, but how to automate. God, what's wrong with my word spelling? To automatize.
Automate.
Automate, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying automatize now. To automatize the process so you don't have to copy and paste so many times.
Yes.
Because that's
That was the most time consuming bit. If I could just scrape GitHub issues, it would make it a lot more efficient.
exactly. And it's not necessarily building things, but it's maybe understanding how to search for those things that you need, or actually doing it directly into ChatGPT, which could be a possibility because if you have the paid plan, you can do these. It can create scripts for you.
Mm.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I think we should put a call in the calendar, Johns. It feels like it's something a few people are interested in.
Okay, perfect.
We can put something. We can just start with call number 1.
Call number 1. Let's go.
We do call number 1. Let's do it. I'm down. I'm 100% down. AI and UX.
Exactly.
Let's do it. Cool. We've got 5 more minutes to go. Anything else? Did anyone add anything else to the chat? I'm gonna have to hop in 5 minutes. But you guys feel free to continue chatting because I have to be on the UX research call. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to jump as well. I'm driving to Zurich
Okay.
right after this call. Need to get stuff packed, done, and out.
Got you. I'm also going to add in the link for the next call. So the next call is happening here. It's going to be on this link over here. And that is a call where a researcher who's done research on a specific PIX, which is used in Brazil, South America. It got a lot of adoption very, very fast. So the research that he did was getting into the psychology of why this particular application receives so much of adoption. And he did a whole report and he's going to share it with us in the community. So if you'd like to, it's a product that received a lot of users and it's interesting to know the why behind that. I think that's very interesting. So yeah, that's the next call. But yeah, is there anything else?
Nope.
Nope. Maybe we can just wrap it up early if everyone's okay with that. So everyone who's hopping on the next call has 5 minutes to just chill, grab a coffee, have a bit of a break. Yeah, it was good. I'm gonna share all of these ideas that we spoke about in the conference channel. So I'd really like to thank everyone for their ideas and their collaborative mind thinking together. Thank you very much.
Collaborative mind thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Peace out, everyone. See you in the next one.
Bye bye.